Welcome to Fearless and Flourishing, where we encourage and empower single women, especially single mamas, to thrive and live your best life. I'm your host, Sarah Simon. Welcome. I'm a life coach, I'm an artist, a singer, an author, and most importantly, mama, my favorite hat. And it is my joy to share what I've learned along the way and invite some amazing, beautiful friends to share their insights along the way as well. So let's dig in. Today on the podcast, we are going to talk about balancing it all and making peace with limitations. Now, that's a really hard topic, isn't it? Because, oh my goodness, we are expected to be super women in this day and age, right? We're supposed to have the career. We're supposed to have the family. We're supposed to be personally fulfilled. We're supposed to be living our best life, maintain relationships with our girlfriends and our significant other, and climb Mount Everest and build a skyscraper to Mars all at the same time while cooking dinner by 6 o'clock and make sure it's hot and organic, right? So, that's a lot, isn't it? That's a lot for us to handle, and we're not meant to carry that weight. But my son is 14, was 15, and even though I'm only a parent of one child, I've learned some really good lessons along the way, and I would love to share them with you. And a lot of this topic today is just going to be filled with grace. So pour yourself a nice tall glass of water or tea or coffee or your favorite beverage of choice, and let's dig in. So today we're going to talk about balancing it all, making peace with limitations. The first part is letting go of the superwoman myth. So, a woman can have it all. I've heard this said when I was younger, that a woman can have it all, just not all at the same time. So that kind of makes sense, because a lot of times we try to do all those things, and it's just impossible because we're only one human being. We're only one person. As a single woman and as a single mom, we have even more hats, because many times we're required to carry the role of the man, even though we're only a woman. Many of us are trying to figure out how to raise our children, and we're praying for these mentors in their life. A lot of them have grandfathers or uncles or good friends of ours. In my case, my son does have a good active dad in his life, which I'm very thankful for. But that's not always the case. And just because he has a good dad in his life doesn't mean that I have a man in my home and carrying the weight of things. Not at all. So, and I homeschool my son also. So add that to the list, right? Our kids' education. But we are just inundated with all these things that we're supposed to be doing, and it's enormous. It feels weighty, and we're not meant to carry that weight. So a woman can have it all, just not all at the same time. Feminist icon Betty Friedman said that. Madeleine Albright said something very similar. Ruth Ginsburg. So you can look up those quotes. The next thing we're going to talk about or speak to is building a support network. How important is that? We are not an island, and we are not raising our kids, if you're a mom, alone. We can't. We need a village. It takes a village, right? So who's in your support network? Who's in your wheelhouse? Do you have spiritual support? Do you have a church family or a place of worship where you go to? Do you have family? Do you have parents or aunts and uncles? Do you have best friends? Do you have sisters or someone that you look to as a sister? I do, and I'm very thankful for her. I've got more than one that I can say about that, thankfully. But our support network is so important. Community, some kind of community. So if you don't have one that is actually blood, like family, we have to create our community so that we can take care of ourselves, and that if we're a mama, we can raise our kids up with that sense of community. And that takes a lot of that weight off our shoulders. Going back to balancing it all. We need to learn to delegate. And it is not a bad word to say no. That's not a cuss word, ladies, to say no. It is also not a cuss word to just say I can't. That's all right. We don't have to be superwoman. You just have to be you. So, letting go of the superwoman myth, building a support network. Another one we're going to talk about real quick is time management and realistic expectations. For example, I am admittedly chronically late for everything. It's something that I work on. I'm not late for everything, but I'm late for a good portion of things. And I feel really bad about it. But I recognize that goes back to me putting way too much on my plate. And sometimes when we put way too much on their plate, we have more than one plate and we're just spinning them and just trying to keep them all spinning to prevent them from crashing. So going back to time management, how that works is we feel pulled in many different directions. And instead of taking time to breathe and saying, okay, I'm going to give myself an extra 15 minutes to get there, or an extra 15 minutes to get ready, we're doing everything last minute, or we're going to bed late and then we're feeling that crunch time in the morning for ourselves, if we're by ourselves, if we're single, or we have children. And when my son was little, no joke, it was like herding cats to get us out the door. And I just had one. So, there's a shoe that goes missing, the shirt's on backwards, the favorite toy is not where it's supposed to be, or, sometimes somebody just even gets sick and, there's somebody doesn't feel good and they're tired. When we have children, our lives are no longer our own. And it can take a lot of practice to learn how to set those realistic expectations. Okay, I can't really leave the house in 20 minutes or even 30 minutes. I need to give myself an hour to get ready, and then I need to make sure that my child is up a half an hour early. If you have pets, that's another factor. I've got 3 dogs and a teenager. So that can be a lot. Sometimes it's not always as quick as I think it is to get out the door. So just give yourself that extra grace to budget that extra time. That can really take a lot of stress off of you. It's something that I'm learning is to give myself that extra wiggle room for time management. Do you have a planner? Do you have a calendar? Writing things down. I like a calendar that shows me a monthly and also something that shows me a weekly and a daily, and even better if it has hourly slots or 20 or 30 or 15 minute slots that you can really write down, okay, I've got this time for driving, this time for getting ready, I have this much time to likely wait at my appointment in case I'm late, for example. I have this much time for getting Susie to her soccer practice, and I've got this much time for homework at the end of the night. I've got 30 minutes before bed to read my book, and we can work with things once we see them on paper a lot easier. And that's something that's just a work in progress, right? But it does really help with the time management. Set alarms on your phone also. So if you want to, for example, let's see. If you know you need to leave, for example, set an alarm 15 minutes before you know you need to head out the door. That way you can prepare yourself. All right, moving on. How to let go of perfectionism. That's a really big one. How to let go of perfectionism and embrace good enough. That's a hard one because many of us were raised that we had to get, I know I was, that we had to get A's. B's weren't good enough. Or what about if, what is this person going to think of me if I don't look perfect or if I don't look put together? Maybe my outfit doesn't completely match. Maybe my purse doesn't match my shoes. Maybe my makeup isn't all that, which it clearly isn't right now, but that's okay. I have embraced and embodied what I'm talking about right now. good enough. So that's all right. We can't be all things to all people, and we can't do everything perfectly all the time. Sometimes we have to compromise. Does that mean we lay down and get a 30-minute nap? Sorry, does that mean we lay down and get a 30-minute nap? Or does that mean that we're going to be crabby and stressed to our family and friends or where we work? Are we going to, again, budget that time? Maybe take 15 minutes in the morning just to breathe. Maybe it's doing some yoga stretches. Maybe it's reading a couple Bible verses. Maybe it's praying and just talking to God about what's on your heart and what you need, because He cares. I want to tell you that right now, He cares. But letting go of perfectionism and just knowing that we don't have to have it all together. We don't have to have it all together. That's a myth. Good enough is okay. Sometimes it's okay if we just have some mac and cheese and hot dogs for dinner. If mom is really tired or mom's not feeling good, at least there's a hot meal. Okay? And if, hey, you don't have energy for a hot meal, all right, throw a salad together, make a smoothie, put some green powder in it. It's still nutritious. It's all right. Or maybe sometimes you're just going to have to make cereal for dinner because you're pulled in 10 million directions. That's okay. You're feeding your kids. You're feeding yourself. There's something. Take a vitamin. Take a vitamin. Do better tomorrow. There has to be give and take when we are a single or when we are a single mom. And it doesn't mean that we're not enough. Not at all. It just means that we're pulled in too many directions, and that's just not a positive expectation that we're going to meet all those things. So give yourself grace. Good enough is well done. Okay, so lastly, how to set boundaries without guilt. We talked about this a little bit already, but just know that no is okay. If you're too tired to go, it's okay. What is priority at this point? Is it your well-being? Is it your children's well-being? Is it you? Do you need a mental health day? That's all right. That's all right. Don't feel guilty for setting a boundary around what you need. If you have to say no to meeting with your friend because your child needs you, it's all right. If you have to say no, maybe even to 2 movies versus 1 with your child because you need to go to bed so that you can wake up refreshed the next day because you had a long day. It's all right. No mom guilt. No friend guilt. Just do the best you can with what you have. And start your day out right. I just want to encourage you for that. And this is something that I'm working on. I used to be really good at it, and then I kind of fell off the horse, and now I'm working on it again, where I need to prioritize quiet time in the morning. So that looks like different things for different people. I have a really good friend, and she spends the first 30 minutes of her day doing some yoga and affirmations. And in my case, I do a little bit of that, but I also pray and read the Bible because it gets my mind right for the day. Then it gets my heart off of what's worrying me and onto the truth that I can depend on a good Father who's wiser than I am and stronger than I am, and his shoulders are bigger than mine. And he puts things in perspective for me. So maybe that's also taking your dog for a walk without your phone. Or having one child who's older, keep an eye on the little one so that you can have a 30-minute shower and just breathe. Maybe that's prioritizing just 5 minutes for yourself to breathe, right? No is okay. Boundaries are good. Take time for you because you're worth it. So at the end of the day, do your family and friends an as a single mom, your children especially know that they're loved? Is everybody healthy? Are you good? I have one friend who had an especially high maintenance young little boy several years back, and she would come home. She was a stay-at-home mom and her husband would work, and she would be kind of frustrated because she felt like she didn't get anything done in the house. And her husband would say, well, honey, you kept our son alive today. Good job. Sometimes it's the basics. So no guilt. At the end of the day, how's your well-being? How's your heart? Are you sleeping? Are you eating healthy? Are you dreaming? I don't mean just at night, but with your heart. How are your kids? Do you feel connected to them? Do they feel connected to you? Do they know that God loves them? Do you know that God loves you? Do you know that you have an amazing purpose in your life and you're passing that down to your kids? Singles, did you make a difference in someone's life today? That kind of sounds like a tall order sometimes, but just you showing up being you, just being a ray of sunshine in somebody's life makes an awful big difference. A word of kindness can go so far. Your life matters so much. And at the end of the day, if we've achieved those simple things, you can lay your head down at peace and rest and have peace in your heart, knowing that you did your best. So in summary, balancing it all from what I've learned, it's a lot of give and take. Sometimes we cry because it's hard and we want to be all things to all people, especially our kids. And sometimes it feels like they get the short end of the stick because we have to work. We have to do this and that. We have to mow the lawn, cook dinner, make sure everyone gets their baths, make sure homework is done if you're homeschooling like I am. Make sure that's, you oversee that as well. And we want our children to have the best, right? We want our loved ones to know that they matter to us. But it's all right. We are human. We have limitations. It is a normal part of this human experience. That's why we need God. And that's why we need each other. So, embrace the limitations. Embrace a community. Find some good people who care about you and your kids. Know that good enough is good. It doesn't have to be perfect. And maintain that peace in your heart, because that's what we really pass on to our children, and that's what we pass on to our loved ones. That's what matters, that peace and the connection. So I want to thank you for joining the very first podcast that I've made for Fearless and Flourishing. I'm really excited to have some special guests along the way. You're going to love them. They have so much wisdom and fun things to teach as well, and they have their own wonderful experiences, good and bad, that we've all learned from on our journeys, and I can't wait to introduce them to you as well. So, if you have a bad day, just remember, it's all right to have limitations. Breathe. Life is about balancing it all. And despite how it may look sometimes, we are fearless and flourishing. So once again, my name is Sarah Simon. Love you from the bottom of my heart. This has been a work in progress for so long that I have been wanting to release this. So we have lots of amazing episodes to come. I'm going to try to do one each week. And I would love if you would like and subscribe and pass it along to someone who may benefit from it. So All right, signing off for now.